My name is Jason. It's been 2 months since she bit me. I still have nightmares about that incident. I don't have much time before I become a minion. It started off when I got home from school. I threw my binder into my room, rushed to the TV, and turned on my PlayStation. I joined a round of duos with my friend, Eric. We dropped and tilted, or should I say, neo-tilted, since it was Season 9. We wiped out the entire plays and moved on to the circle. We finished the game with 17 kills overall. When we got that beloved victory royale, the both of us screamed with cheer, but things took a dark turn at this point. Eric's scream of joy suddenly turned into a scream of death. The next thing I heard was Eric gurgling. I couldn't tell what it was, but that didn't matter because the next thing I heard was a thump. I was very scared, and it felt like my blood was curdling. I went back to the lobby after hearing the thump. You know how usually when you go back to the lobby and if your teammates are still in the game, their holographic color is blue? Well, this isn't the case. In the lobby, the location of the blue holographic color that was supposed to surround Eric's character was red instead. At this point, I started to realize that something was not right. I then received a text from Eric. It said, "Pew cool." I laughed for a moment because of how it sounded when I read it out loud. However, my eyes started to widen when I realized it was a message saying look up backwards. Literally chattering my teeth, I looked up slowly. I saw a coffin duct taped to the ceiling. I then backed away a little bit before the scariest sight of an object came out next. The coffin opened and I vomited. It was Eric, but tortured. His eyes were taken out, so I only saw black with blood beneath them. His legs were chopped off, and his left hand was taken away. And even his stomach skin was ripped open. I rushed to him. Eric, you okay? Then I shaked him hard, and he heard the sound of paper crumpling. I turned his dead body around and found a note. At this point, most of the floor in the living room was covered in Eric's blood. It said, play a round of Fortnite solos, and read the message at the gas station in Neo Tilted. I paid so much attention to the note, I didn't even remember to call an ambulance and the cops. I played solos and went to the gas station at Neo Tilted. At the entrance door of the gas station, it said, unfinished. What did that mean? Then all of a sudden, my Fortnite character on the screen just turned around. The character was the Season 9 Rox outfit. Then her face was zoomed in. She had an evil look, as if she had an evil plan. In a demonic voice, she said, "You are going to become one of us, Jason." Then my character was shot in the eyes, and the blood started pouring out of her eyes. It then went back to normal, and I was spectating the player who killed me. I was so scared at this point. How did she know my name? Was this a sick prank? I immediately unplugged my TV without hesitation, and I called 911. 10 minutes later, the emergency services arrived at my door. There were 2 police cars and an ambulance. The paramedics took Eric into the ambulance and told me to stay where I was. That was odd. Usually people are allowed to stay in the same ambulance with their injured buddies. There were 4 police officers overall, and they questioned me on the story, so I gave the full story to them. Then, one of the officers started to giggle, and showed the same facial expression the Rox character gave me on my screen earlier. Then, I realized her hairstyle was exactly like Rox, and her eyes started pouring blood. Oh God, I said in fear. You're the perpetrator! Suddenly, all the officers started laughing evilly as well.
There is no escape, Jason.
One of the officers said in an evil tone. And then all of the officers said together, And that was the last phrase I was told before the rocks-looking character jumped at me and took a bite out of my arm. I fainted, and didn't know what happened next. I woke up in the hospital bed. The people who were standing beside me were the same paramedics that took Eric. The rocks-looking character was also beside my bed, and there was also the nurse right beside my bed. She told me that I had a hallucination when Officer Rocks interviewed me. Then I felt my arm, and it was still ripped. Then how do you explain my ripped arm? I asked the nurse with anger. She gave me a weird look. There isn't any openings around your arms. Later that evening, I was allowed to go home. I had the feeling that someone was following me. I turned around and it was Officer Rocks.
2 months are finished.
In that same demonic voice. Then she vanished, leaving dust particles behind. I went home and checked the local news, and the article read, 15-year-old Eric found dead in 15-year-old Jason's home. I realized this was all real. And oh dear, the effect is coming in. Now, if you will excuse me, I have
Some unfinished work to do.